Hello, Tiger Theater students. If I'm talking to you now, that means you've probably already had Theater Arts 1, as that is the prerequisite, because we are talking about Theater Arts 2. Again, this is a fine arts credit for you, and as it says here, the Theater Arts 2 is an advanced class, and like we said in Theater Arts 1, we kind of scratched the surface on a lot of things, but didn't dive super deep. Well, this is the class where we begin to go a little bit deeper in fewer things. All right, we add more depth to the art of acting and directing and writing. And we place a lot more focus on, how it can be done according to various schools of thought and acting teachers' methods and how they say acting should be done or shouldn't be done. All right, and so we're going to talk about that for just a moment. But what do you get to do? There's auditioning, there's headshots, resumes, there's world theater cultures, directing, playwriting, and multiple in-depth acting techniques, and of course the one act. So let's take a look for just a moment at what our semester. So the first semester is where we start off here with kind of in the directing actors and working into that mode. So we have our first acting method from the acting teacher, Stanislavski. We'll study him and how he says acting should be done. He's the famous developer of method. And we'll talk about the difference between what a lot of people think is method acting and what his method really was. We get into directing, where you get to take the time to direct a couple people in a scene and get your hands, dirty, actually doing some directing in class. So it's a lot of fun. People find their niche here sometimes. Then we get into some advanced movement. This is one of our world theater cultures as we focus on African mask and dance and how movement can impact a performance. Then we get into our isms of the mid-1900s. We have the isms come through with all the different styles, as it says, futurism, Dadaism, idealism, impressionism, expressionism, constructivism, and surrealism. We focus on three big ones, and we turn those into a short film where you have that film or that ism style influence your film. Then we get into another acting technique. This is Sanford Meisner, who very broadly and widely used acting method as well. It's very neat. A lot of my students really have fun with this one. All right, and so when we're done with first semester, obviously, we go into second semester where we're going to dive into the start is being technical theater. We take and learn just some of the basics about each of the design elements and how you do those to prepare for a show, because this class is really kind of helping to finish set you up for repertory theater should you want to move on to that class. You got to be able to design, because in rep, you do some designs. So we learn each of the designs. We take a Midsummer Night's Dream, and you basically create an entire design concept for it. And we work through those one piece at a time and get through them. And then we have a one-act play where you guys choose a play. You design the play, and you perform the play. Most often when the years are normal, that one-act play is performed at the student-directed one-act festival. It just slides right in there in the schedule and works with them. But this is a fun thing. We rehearse it in class and go through all that. We study some No and Suzuki, which is another world theater culture style of acting and movement and how they say theater should be done. And then we get into some devised theater where you kind of create theater from scratch. And so it's a really hands-on approach, lots of diving in deep. And I do encourage you to get in. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're wanting to go on into repertory theater. This is that next stepping stone. So it's a great place to get your hands on acting and directing and writing and technical theater and do all those fun things. So I encourage you, come see me, A147, and let's sign you up for some theater too and have a fun year.